Well, it's time, we're off again, and this time we're off to Spain. I'm very excited, very excited. This is the first ever, the first World Masters Feeder Championships, and it's held in Spain at a place called Merida, that's just north of Seville. And it's a fantastic place. I've been there before, and it's a great big river. I think it's Guardiola or something like that. But it's a massive river. It's like half a mile wide in areas, maybe wider than that. But it's a great venue, full of fish, lots of carp, crassio, and catfish. And we've got a good team. We've got a good management structure, and we can't wait. To be honest, we were all like little kids. To be honest with you, I'm the oldest, of course, and even like the lads at 56, 57, they're as excited as anything. So Nigel's put a good squad together, a good backroom team. And we're going on in the next 2 days. We're on his way, and for the last 2 weeks I ain't done no fishing. I've just been preparing. And you might think 2 weeks to prepare, well, it's a lot. You know, there's a lot of stuff to do, there really is. And but the main thing is to get your head right, to get your mind right, and to get yourself organised. But when I get everything together, this is what I do. I put everything there. I put everything in my garden. And I don't care what you say. You can comment as much as you want about my garden being untidy. I don't care. So that's my setup. That's going to be my setup. Not everything there will go to the bank. Not everything. Most of it will, but not everything will go to the bank. So let me go through it and explain it all to you. What we're doing. Well, first of all, the seat box. Of course, I think a seat box is the most important piece of fishing equipment there is. Why? Because everything's rounded. You've got to be comfortable. You sat here for a long time, 4 or 5 hours. Your posture's got to be right. So everything is around me. As you can see, I'm organised. I'm very conscious of getting things organised, as you well know. So I've got the keep net in front of me. I carry 2 nets. I've got my landing net that will watch off my keep net and go into that there. So if I'm playing a fish, all I've got to do is in the same spot all the time, and I can net my fish. Then I've got my bowls, one for ground bait, one probably for sticky maggots, or 2 different styles of ground bait. Because we're fishing for different fish, we might need 2 styles of ground bait. So I've got my 2 bowls there already, so I can fill my feeders up. Quite simple. Now then, my bait tray. You might think, why have you got that one? Well, it's quite warm where we're going. It's 30 degrees, so I like the holes in the bottom. It's lightweight, the air can get through and keep the bait cool, and that keeps the sun away from the bait. But I've got my trusted feeder tray as well, just in case I want it. So I take two trays with me, find out which is best on the day. Sometimes that one's best, sometimes that one. If it's raining, I'll probably use my feeder tray, but if it's not, this is the tray that I'm going to be using. And also what you've got to remember is 2.5 litres of bait. It's not a lot of bait, so you don't need a great big massive tray. That's them set up. So this side I've got this bowl in case I've got spare ground bait and we need to get rid of lots of ground bait, so I can just pick it up and throw it in. That can move round. It's very easy to move round. But in case I just want to, I can't throw ground bait in, it's through a feeder. But I can actually put that into my bowls. It's quite, not bending, I'm not looking round or anything like that. You might notice 2 rod rests. Well, when I'm fishing hands-free, if I'm fishing for the carp and I'm sat there like that looking at the tip, I like it hands-free on my backrest onto that side, so I'm not touching it, so I can do my other things and I'm not looking. But if I'm fishing and holding the rod, I like to fish it that way, to my left. Why? Because when you're fishing and holding the rod and you're getting lots and lots of bites, you're casting in and you're putting it on and you're getting bites quick and you want to strike quick, because your arm's bent there, you're straight into your fish, like that. When it's on the rod rest, your arm's straight, it's not the same. You're not the same, you're not comfortable, and you miss bites. So it's simple. I have 2 rod rests up. If I'm hands free and I'm fishing for bigger fish and it's going to be in longer, the rod will go that way. But if I'm striking all the time, getting lots of bites, and I'm holding the rod, I will put it that way. Then, what we're going to do, we're just going to move round here. What we've got here now, we've got my back trays. I've got 2 back trays. I've got one, as you know, I'm a big fan of back trays. I love back trays. I like to put my bait on my main tray and I like to put my tackle on my back tray. So everything's in there that I'm going to be needing. Scissors, there you go, in case I need more rods set up, and all my little bits and accessories and everything like that are all in that back tray. Anything that I might need. And this one there will be where my hooks go. So this is my hooks, which I'm going to come to in a second. That'll go on there like that. So that's where I keep that. So it's nice and handy. As you can see, I like to keep everything around me. I like to get myself organised. Spare bucket, spare riddles, everything like that. Then this little beauty here, it's white, which reflects the heat. That's my bait box. You can see them's the bait trays and tubs that will go onto my tray itself. They're my measuring bowls, which I've actually got to have because the fixed rules say you've got to have measuring bowls. And in there, there's a litre, 3/4 litre, half litre, 1/4 litre and 1/8 litre. There's actually 5 tubs in that one. I've got 2 of them. When I've had the measurement done, what I'll do, I'll transfer them into the normal bowls. That's your bloodworm bowl. In case you want to split it, you can take that off and you've got it in one. So that's for bloodworm, and you can actually keep that because of the holes in it. You just put it in a tub of water with your bloodworm and they're fine. So that's that one. So, what we've got in all these lovely goodie bags. First of all, my net bag. In here I've got my spare keep net. I've got different landing nets. I've got 2 or 3 different styles. For the simple reason I don't know what I'm fishing for yet. And some landing nets, believe it or not, are better with certain fish. Like we're catching catfish, we're catching carp. Sometimes that scooper is better in the water because it scoops through the water quickly. And sometimes that one's better because it's lighter. But sometimes these fish, when you go abroad, the fins stick in the nets and you've got to work it out which is the best. So I always take plenty of landing nets. Landing net heads, just in case, with different species of fish. So that's that one. This will go to the bank every day. This is what I keep my towels in and all my accessories for my weights. All my feeder bags, all them there, are all going into that. Now sometimes I use this as a cool box because it's actually made, I'm not sure what it's made out of, but it keeps bait cool as well, so I can use it for both. But because I don't need a lot of bait, I'm just going to use the white one for my bait, and this will be my tackle bag. It's a great bag for anything really, because it's so adaptable and you can use it for quite a few things. And the long one, in there I've got quite a few things in that. This is where I keep all my big accessories. I've got my bowl, I've got my bait shelter, which I might need if it's going to rain. I might need it over my main tray. I've got my measuring sticks, and I've got that. You can't get that over there, so I always take that with me. Don't tell rest of the lads. Don't tell rest of the lads. My drill, my cutter, and all the big items will go in that bag, and that keeps everything. What I'm trying to do is keep everything together. So that's a great way. And that's all my main accessories. So, what's all these for? Right. When you go on these championships, what happens is you get lots of things. You never know what's going to happen. You never know whether you can get it over there. There's some good shops in Marie. There's some good tackle shops. But I like to take what I want, and then if I need anything, I can go to these shops. So, in this bag, you can see, this bag has got little bags, and I've got my feeding feeders. I've got spare spools. I've got spare lines, as you can see there. All my spare lines, my big lines, my new spools, my spare reels, and everything like that. They go in that one. And this one is all my lines. As you can see, there's all my spare lines. My hook lines, a few reel lines, not many. My braid and everything like that. So everything in that bag is all my spare lines. You might think, well, there's a lot there. There is a lot there, but I don't know what I'm going to need. So I have to take everything. I might not be able to get what I want over there. Now this one is a special bag. This one's a special bag. This is all my hook ends. Now I've been spending, you can't believe how many I've tied. I can't show you what that one is, that's top secret at the moment, that one. I can't tell you what that is. And you can see now all my hooks tied, everything like that. All these are full of hooks which are all tied up, look. And as you know, I love tying hooks. No, So you can imagine the pain, suffering, and I can hear you saying that, how do you know which hooks you're going to need? I don't, and that's why I've tied a load, that's why I've tied a lot up, because I don't actually know, so I've tied lots up. Then I keep them all in these, and they all stack simple, so when I'm in van, they're all going to stack nice and simple. That one goes under my seat, which is great. Now what it's all about is feeder fishing. We feeder fishing. So what feeders am I going to take? Well, because we're fishing for carp, carasio and catfish, it could be a different feeder for every one. And you might go, wow, but it might be different. So we have to take a big selection, and I have got a lot. So like them who winter feeders, I think they'll work over there for some fish. Not all fish, them for winter feeders, them for maggot feeders in case I'm fishing open maggots through a feeder. Sometimes that's better, sometimes it's sticky maggots. Then them's my smooth hounds. That's my favourite feeder. Them, I love them smooth hounds. They're smooth inside, they're nice, and I'm not a massive fan of the cage one. I like the solid plastic one, and I love that feeder. And other thing is, if I'm fishing at like a sticky mag feeder, I use that one as well, because it's smooth inside. It sticks, but it comes out simple, comes out dead easy. And as you can see, it's wider at the bottom. All the weight, it's all weight forward to the bottom, but it's actually wider there than it is at the top. So it actually comes out easily when you release it in your peg, and that's one of the reasons why I really like it. I think they're going to be a massive feeder for me personally. Then I've got my zipplers, which if I want to get some bait in, that'll get it down quickly with that big weight. It'll go straight to the bottom, and hopefully, and as you can see, it's wide at the bottom, but the idea of that one is to go wallop straight to the bottom. So if I want to get some bait in during the match, that's the feed I'm going to put on to feed during the match. Then we've got the Nieces. Like the Nieces weight forward. I don't think these will come into it because I don't think we'll be fishing at distance, but I think personally I think they're a fantastic feeder. I really do, but I'm not sure they're going to come into it because it's quite deep, this river that we're going to, so I'm not quite sure that's going to be right. Then I've got this one, my Nieces. That's my Nisa box, and it's one of my favourite feeders, that one. I love Nisas. There's something just about them, and I've got a mixture there, and especially smaller ones if it's going to be little crassios in the side or something like that, where we might need a mini one, because that's a cracking little feeder. So sometimes these crassios come really short, like really inside, and we might be on something like that. So you can see I've got a big selection of feeders, and let's face it, that's what it's all about. You know, it's feeder fishing, that's what we're trying to do. So I've got a selection. I don't know what feeder we're going to be on. Right, so I've got 2 Odols as well. There you go, all my spares are in there. That Odol there is for accessories like landing net angles, landing net poles, spare rods, and this one is my main one where all my rods are going to go in. This is the one where all my rods are going. Now then, how many rods have I got? Right, I've got quite a few. Why? Because I don't know which I'm going to need, so you've got to cover yourself. This is World Championships. You know, I can't just stop and go back to the van and things like that to get something out, so I've got to be prepared. So, what have I got? So if you come over here, I've got 10-foot feeder lights, Free Spirit. Love these rods, 10 foot. I've got them. I've got 3 of them. I've got the 11-foot carp feeder. I've got 3 of them. Then that's my feeding rod, which is just a cheap rod for my feeding during the start of the match and the 10-minute pre-baiting. And then I've got 3 12-foot, which is the Ascension feeder, which is 3-piece 12-foot, and I love that. And actually I've got the new Shimano reels on that one, look. I've got 2, and I'll be getting 6 or 7 more when I come back because it is stunning. And then I don't think that this type of fishing, I think it'll be 11 and 12-foot rods, but you never know, because when it's been pre-baiting for 4 days, you never know what these fish are going to come in. So I'm covering my options, but let's face it, it might be the fact goes the other way, it gets worse and go at distance. So I've put 3 rods in, 13-foot casting rods, which is the DM, and I love that 13 too. I think it's a fantastic rod. So I've got 3 of them, 3 of them, 3 of them, and 3 of them. So I've got lots of rods. Now I won't set up all them. I'm not going to set up all them. It'd be crazy. I won't need enough room on bank to set them all up. But I've got them as cover. I'll probably set 2 of each up, and then I've got the third one as cover in case something happens. You know, you break one, it's quite easy to do nowadays, and that's my setup. So as you can see, I've got loads of gear, I've got plenty of gear. It will go in my van, believe it or not, because it's all packed up. I've got everything in bags, all packed up nice and easy, and it will go in my van. And to be honest with you, I'm right chuffed with my setup. It's a good little setup, nice and organised. Like I said, not everything here will go on the bank. A lot of this will stop in my room. I won't need it, but I'll only put the stuff in the van when I get there. But when I get to my peg, I know I'm going to be comfortable. I'm going to have everything I need there. And to be honest with you, I honestly can't wait. I'm as excited as anything. And we've got next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday the training days. So we've got 4 days training, and then we've got the match Saturday, Sunday. And we do believe there's 11 or 12 teams entered, and I think for the first year that's excellent. That's really good, especially in like the Western Spain, where lots of countries have got to come from afar. So I think that will be, it'll be good 11 or 12 teams, because I promise you eventually there's going to be 20 odd teams in this, because it's going to be massive. It really is, this event. So let's get it going, let's get started, and I know you wish us all well, and like I said, Nigel's put a great squad together, a good team, good backup team, and I honestly am as excited as a little boy winning his first week shop. I really am, I can't wait. So, and thanks for your support. We've had lots of support, we really appreciate it, and we'll do our best for you. Come on, England!